Am I wrong for not giving my roommate more space? So, before I start this, I have to talk briefly about my own roommate history. I've had 16 roommates total in my life. I've been living independent from my parents since I graduated high school, and it's been about 7 to 8 years since I lived by myself, as in lived without my family. And among those times, I had total of 16 roommates, including right now I have 2. And there's also additional unofficial one of my roommate's boyfriend who often stays. But anyway, so I would say I have pretty good experience living with roommates, and I'll be able to tell you guys my experience as well as judging other people's experience. In the meantime, I learned a lot. I fought sometimes with my roommates. I had some money issue, I had some noise issue, I had smoking issue, and I'll tell you guys all about it. But today we brought a AITA. You guys know what AITA stands for, right? AITA stands for Am I the hole? I personally don't like cussing, so I don't really like saying that out loud. But it's basically asking if I'm in the wrong of the story. And today we have a story of AITA for not giving my roommate more space. So this person is 29-year-old female. They're homeowner, and I'm gonna say from their first person perspective. I inherited 3-bedroom house after my aunt died of cancer 2 years ago. She had no children and we were close, so it was no brainer that she leave it to me. I spent the first year after the house passed to me and renovating it and making it feel like mine. And it was around this time that my friend, who's also 29-year-old female, had to leave her boyfriend's flat after they broke up, and she didn't have a backup plan. And I let her move in with me, and I told her she was of course welcome to stay. I gave her the second largest bedroom, which is 13 square meter with its own bathroom. Wow, own bathroom. That's kind of rare. I don't know if you guys ever live by yourself, but generally, a lot of the times when you have roommates, you have to share the bathroom. God, I hate that. I might not be the most cleanest person in the world, but when I clean bathroom, I hate the sensation of having to clean other people's mess as well. So when I clean the hair of like other people's hair, anyway, okay, let me just continue with the story. So I gave her second largest bedroom that has its own bathroom. I have the master bedroom, and the box room is my office. I work from home. I told her that bedroom she had was her space and they could decorate it however they liked. Beyond that, she had all the access to communal areas, house, living room, kitchen, garden. Okay. The only place I asked her to not go was my bedroom. Makes sense. My office and the loft, which was renovated into my D&D room. I am a DM and my party meets D&D. I believe they're saying Dungeons and Dragons. So they basically have office, their room, and separate room they use for gaming. Okay. It's been a year and I thought things were going pretty well. I don't charge her rent. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it's friend. My only request is she split the utility bill and grocery bill. Oh, I have some comment about this, but I'll make more comments after. I had a few rules, but nothing insane. A heads up if she had an overnight guest. Okay, no loud noise after 11 p.m. Okay. Well, here's the thing. If they're not paying rent... Anyway, I'll just make more comments afterward. And to keep her space clean. She has randomly told me yesterday that she needs more space. But what? Okay, I'll just keep reading, alright? That's not fair. She only has her bedroom and the communal areas, while I have my bedroom, my office, and the communal areas. They're saying it's not fair that she only has bedroom and bathroom. I was shocked. She never expressed any unhappiness with this layout. I told her that, yeah, I had more space. It's not written here, but because it's her own fucking house. Sorry for cussing. I don't cuss. But anyway, let me keep reading. But she had to keep in mind that it was my house and I set up these spaces for me before she even came to stay. She got upset with me and said I was being unfair and we need to rethink the layout of the house. This had made me a bit uncomfortable. I let her stay when she had nowhere else to go, and I was happy to give her free control over her own space. But I can't help but feel this is rather ridiculous. AITA. What do you guys think? Is she in the wrong? Yes or NTA? Not in the wrong. Here's my answer. A lot of you guys are saying, no, she's not wrong. This is her fault. This is her fault for not kicking her friend out of the house the moment she brought this up. It is her fault for not being able to assert the house owner's authority. I thought this story was going to be some roommate to roommate issue. This is not a roommate to roommate issue. This is a beggar and a palace. So it's not a situation that I experienced. If you're living at someone else's house, you should be thankful for every little space. I don't understand at the same time, some people might be like, this is a fake story. Someone probably just made this up. But you guys would be surprised. There's so many people out there, when you do them favors, they start to think that favor is their rights and they demand more and more. You'll be shocked. Not just in a room situation, but in a lot of times in life, I feel like even your kindness, people take it as granted. And in this situation, in that girl's mind, her bedroom is already hers. And she thinks it's unfair just because it looks like the balance is not right. Also, the main girl is wrong for not charging her rent. In my opinion, even if it's a friend, you should charge a rent. In fact, even parents sometimes charge rent on their on their children's after they come back from college. Have you guys ever seen those families? Personally, my parents wouldn't do that to me, but I would if they asked me to. And again, like you guys said, what does she mean by balance and fairness? This is crazy. Fairness? Oh my god. Your mom is charging $500 rent for the house I'm in? You know what I personally think? Okay, if, for example, I was in this situation, then I think I should at least do the dishes, at least do the groceries, at least be in charge of cleaning the house. You get what I'm saying? If you're staying at someone's house for free because of their niceness, you should at least offer some service to pay back for the favor. Now, here comes my crazy story. I've actually lived at someone else's house when I was young. When I was in middle school, there was a time period where I used to live at someone else's house for a little less than a year, I would say. Can I be honest? I had a lot of complaints when I lived at someone else's house. I was basically the weird friend here. As a middle school boy, I didn't like the fact that the house owner's son kept commanding me to do stuff. Are we back? I think we're back, right? Sorry, it was lagging for a second. And I got in a heated argument with this house owner's son. And he said, it's my house and you have to follow my rule. Which he's right. But at the time, you guys have to bear with me. I was basically a young middle school kid. And I hated the situation. I thought he was being unreasonable. So I left the house. And I started walking outside. But you know how American houses are? They are in a subdivision. So even if I walk out, what is there? Bunch of houses. It takes literally 15 minutes to even get out of the neighborhood. So I just kept walking and walking, and there's just houses and houses. I have freaking nowhere to go. I have nowhere to go. So because if I go right back, it's a little awkward, right? So I walked around for a few hours, and then I went back in. So I personally could sort of understand how it feels like, but at the same time, in the story, the girl's 29-year-old. Me, I was what? I was 11? I was 13 at the time? So you guys understand. I'm not saying I was right there. I was immature, but at least I could sort of understand the situation. Anyway, next one. AITA for taking everything that's mine when my roommate asked me to move out. This is actually a very good one. My roommates, the person is 21-year-old male and the roommate is 21-year-old female. Okay, pretty common situation. My roommate and I moved into an apartment together about 5 months ago. We're friends and she was one of the ones who found a place and put me on the lease to sign. Oh, very common situation. I was nothing but respectful as roommate. We split chores, I did my dishes, and there wasn't any tension between us, or so I thought. One day while I was out, she texted me saying she needed to talk when I got home. When I returned, she sat me down and told me she wanted me to move out. Okay, why are these people so unreasonable? Okay, in this case, he's on the lease, but alright, we'll keep reading. Anyway, for me, it's already like pause, but she said she didn't think she wanted to continue living with me. She already talked to the landlord and set the move-out date January 1st. Huh? You don't decide on these kind of things by yourself. Okay. I was blindsided, but didn't put up a fight. I decided to leave as quickly as I could because why would I stay somewhere when I'm not wanted? Pause right here. Something's wrong here. Okay, these AITA, you know what the issue is? The person is also wrong. They're also not moving in the regular people's behavior. Anyway, I'll keep reading the story. I scrambled to find another place, and in the process, I realized something important. I paid for pretty much everything in the apartment. Okay. The plates, the couch, TV, router for the Wi-Fi, and all the cool stuff in the apartment were purchased out of my pocket. So I told her I'd be taking everything I bought when I moved out. She said okay. On the day I moved out, I rented a truck and took my things. She wasn't home, so when she came back to apartment, it was basically empty. She freaked out and started texting and calling me. When I answered, she went on a rant about how I shouldn't have taken everything. How bad the apartment looked now, and now she was supposed to explain the situation to her friends. I calmly reminded her that I told her I was taking the things I bought, and she agreed. She hung up on me but then started telling our mutual friends what happened. Now some of them call me beep for leaving her in a bare apartment, while others say I did the right thing because it was my stuff all the way. For what it's worth, I didn't leave her with nothing. I left a mini fridge. Thought I took the liquor that was inside it, so I feel like I was considerate enough. AITA. What do you guys think? Yes or no? NTA, no. The judge Hyosang's answer is yes, it is his fault. Let me tell you my deep insight. Number one, the author here didn't specify it, but to me it's very, very obvious that they were dating. 21-year-old guy and 21-year-old girl move in as a roommate. This kind of situation, bought all the stuff. They were probably dating and they moved in together. And the reason why he agreed to move out very quickly is why? It's because they broke up. And that's why he agreed to move out 100%. And another adding one more thing. He said he took things that he paid for. I'm pretty sure he took more than that. I'm pretty sure he goes like, well, I kind of paid for this, so I'm going to take this too. Well, what I'm saying is he didn't take stuff because he paid for it. He took stuff so that he could mess up her life. Because why? He's salty about moving. He's salty about breaking up. So in the story, he wrote it as if he is the good guy. I'm pretty sure he literally wiped everything from the apartment. He probably even took spoon and the forks and everything. And sorry, do you know these people? Yes, I do. No, but I swear the reason why he's wrong is this was 100%. You know what in my opinion, you know what the disgusting part is? This guy acts like he was all logical and everything, defending himself. But in reality, he's also mad and he took all of the stuff out of his anger. But we can't assume. I'm pretty sure they all write the story based on their favor. Okay, can I point out another thing? Like, look at the sentence right here. They said, one day while I was out, they talked with their landlord and set the move out date for January 1st. I was blindsided but didn't put up a fight. I decided to leave as quickly. Pause right there. Do you guys agree? If you live with a roommate and your roommate says, I talked to the landlord and you're gonna move out and you consent, don't you guys already see what's already wrong here? You know what I also feel like, guys? I have a feeling this person might not have been even paying the rent. Do you guys get what I mean? Okay, this is a little bit more of an assumption, but it says right here, we're friends, and she's the one who found the place and put me on the lease to sign. What I feel like is he either didn't pay for the apartment or was only paying for one room among the big apartment. That's why she was able to talk to landlord about getting him off the lease, because he was either not paying rent or only was using one room. Basically, it wasn't a perfectly fair 50-50 situation, which is also why he didn't claim. What I'm guessing is, okay, this is my assumption. I'm not saying this is true. This is my story time. This is a couple, 21-year-old couple, guy and girl. They move in. What they did was, I'll buy all the furnitures and you do all the house and rent. So the girl ended up finding the rent and paid for most of the rent. Meanwhile, the guy bought all the furnitures and they decided to live together. And they fought and they decided to break up. And guy's like, okay, you want to do this? And so he said, since I pay for the furnitures and everything, I'm going to take all the furnitures. So he wiped everything from the apartment and the girl's like, you can't do that. And the guy's like, why? I paid for it, is my assumption. Now, you making sense? But anyway, you know what I feel like? Usually in a roommate fight, it's both way fights. So usually it's also your fault. Generally, people who don't get involved in roommates fights never do. Meanwhile, the people who fight, they fight with every single roommates. I've seen several roommates fight. I personally am not the one who gets involved in these fights, but I've seen other roommates fight with each other. And anyway, next one. These stories are kind of fun, isn't it? AITA for tricking my roommate into eating mozzarella using a Korean hot dog because I suspected him of eating my food. Hold up, am I reading the sentence correctly? AITA for tricking my roommate into eating mozzarella using a Korean hot dog because I suspected him of eating my food? I'm so confused. Okay, I'll just read it. I recently moved back into an apartment I shared with 3 roommates for college. I lived with them last year, and one of the roommates always stole my food. His name was Tyler. Okay. Let me explain our food setup. We have one main fridge in the kitchen that we quartered off, so each person gets an equal share of the fridge space, including the freezer. Good idea. It's literally partitioned with like colored tapes. Oh, that's pretty nice. And dividers when applicable. So there's no way you mistake someone else's food for yours. We do this with the pantry too, but we share only when we asked. Anyway, last year, someone kept stealing my snacks and microwavable food. I suspected Tyler for many reasons, but I never got enough evidence to get him to outright admit. So I decided to do a little test that was completely harmless unless he was a thief. A note about Tyler is that he absolutely hates mozzarella. It's like weirdly intense hate. Apparently he ate a ton of mozzarella stick on a field trip as a kid and he got food poisoning, something like that. Bad history with mozzarella or something. So I bought these Korean hot dogs I saw on social media. It's like a normal hot dog, but the upper half is mozzarella and the bottom half is normal hot dog sausage. I had these. I know what these are. Then I microwaved one for the lunch the other day, ate the entire upper mozzarella half, and waited for Tyler to walk into the kitchen. I showed him the hot dog, now with only the sausage part visible. And talked at length about how delicious these new hot dogs I bought were. Another thing to note is that I threw away the box of hot dog that came in, which I do for all my frozen food for space purpose anyway. Wait guys, I think I know which hot dog this is. I bought the same hot dog. I actually know which one this is. That's where it was very visible, says it was mozzarella half. The hot dogs were individually wrapped with the ingredients printed on them in super fine print, so it was hard to see. But if he read the ingredients, then he would have seen the mozzarella. So later around 2 a.m., I hear Tyler literally yelp from his room. So I run in, and behold, he hold a big fat bite of my hot dog. It was so funny. He tried to scream at me, but because the cheese was in his mouth, it came out like mozzarella. He actually ended up puking on his bed. So I did end up feeling semi-bad for that. It was a loud incident. So my other two roommates woke up and witnessed the aftermath. We did tease him after about it. Like, he was panicking about cleaning the bed. We joked, "Oh, mozzarella, you get your fairy godmother to clean it for you." I thought that was pretty funny, even though it was kind of cheesy. He did not. Anyway, Tyler's obviously flaming furious. He thinks it's my fault he puked and that I lied about my fake hot dog to trap him into eating mozzarella. I argued that I never said the hot dogs did not contain mozzarella. I just never mentioned that they did. So, am I wrong? Oh, sorry for the lag. So, am I wrong or not? AITA. This one, I genuinely think it's NTA. You know, a lot of the times when I read these stories, I suspect if the story is real or fake, right? Among every single stories I've read, this one I believe is the most real one because, first of all, you know how when the lie is so specific, when the story is so specific, it's most likely a real story. And another thing is, I know this exact Korean hot dog. You could buy it from H Mart, and I know what he exactly means, but you could take the package out and only put the inside. I've ate the exact same kind. So I think this story is real and I think it's NTA. Personally, with the roommates I had, I never had a food stealing issue, but I've heard that it's pretty common. Have you guys ever had a roommate who steals your food? And the crazy part is, usually when you ask them, they all give it to you. If you say, "Oh, can I have a bite? Oh, can I have some?" Then I've never had a roommate who doesn't. In fact, like for example, I have an Indian roommate right now, and when she cooks curry, she offers me to have some curry. So generally, people aren't that not nice about sharing food. People want to share food. Oh, your brothers and sisters, your siblings steal your food. When I have a younger brother, we didn't really have my food, his food, but at the same time, my brother is a 200-pound of pure muscle, football defender, 6 feet. So when my mom brings home a new food, because we don't necessarily have a quota on what is mine and what is his, he generally consumes all of it. But then the difference is my brother's nice, and he knows that I'll be sad if I have nothing left. So if my mom makes 10 dumplings, then he'll eat 9 of them, maybe 8 of them, and then leave the 2. Yes, he used to do that kind of things. Or when there's a bread and when there's a cake, he would eat almost 9/8 of it, and then he would leave the 1/9 tiny piece. The crazy part is, I don't eat a lot. You guys could tell that I'm skinny. So usually I get satisfied. So I never really had to fight with my brother about food. Can I be honest? When I live with roommates, sometimes I get tempted to use roommates' food. Because my living environment is kind of poor and I rarely buy any snacks. But sometimes when I see that Coke... Okay, no, Coke sounds weird. I meant carbonated drink. Sprite in the fridge. I just kind of... But at the same time, people could usually tell, so I never steal. I always tell myself, come on, Hyosang, you're more expensive than bottle of Coke. Yes. Next story. Probably the last story for the day. AITA for ruining my roommate's romantic dinner. So here's the deal. My roommate Greg has been seeing this girl. Okay, I already feel like it's NTA. I already feel like it's his fault. But anyway, let me keep going. My roommate Greg has been seeing this girl, Lisa, for weeks. He's head over heels, always talking about her, playing love songs on his guitar. He told me he was planning a romantic dinner for her at our apartment and asked if I could make myself scarce for the evening. I agreed, thinking I'd just go ahead to my friend's place and chill. However, my plans fell through. I ended up at home. Not wanting to intrude, I decided to stay in my room, and I got a bit bored and thought, why not light up a dapper doobie and relax? What is a dapper doobie? Dapper doobie? I don't know what this means. Oh, smoking. Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't know the slang. About an hour later, I got the munches. I tiptoed to the kitchen, trying to be as quiet as possible. But as luck would have it, I knocked over a jar of spaghetti sauce. It shattered. Sauce went everywhere. And the noise, well, it was loud. Greg and Lisa rushed in, and the look on their faces was a mix of shock and horror. The romantic ambience was ruined, and there I was, in the middle of a mess, holding a half-eaten sandwich. Lisa found it hilarious and couldn't stop laughing. Greg, on the other hand, was livid. He said I ruined his perfect evening, and that I did it on purpose because I was jealous of his new relationship. I apologized and offered to clean up, but the mood was already killed. Lisa left shortly after, and now Greg isn't talking to me. So, AITA for accidentally crashing my roommate's romantic dinner. I'm actually having a really hard time with the anxiety of living with someone that's so upset with me over an accident. What do you guys think? Nah, this is 100% his fault. What do you mean, NTA? This is 100% his fault. You know why? Number one, the reason why it's his fault is he promised his friend that he won't be home. So it's not his responsibility, but the story's different when you said, oh, okay, I promise you I won't be home at that day. So it's not about roommate situation, it's about promise you made with that person about how you won't be there and do him a favor. And second, when he smoke or do that kind of stuff, you could smell it in the house. And it probably weren't a good vibe. And why are people saying it's lagging? I think YouTube is glitching today. Oh, what's going on? The YouTube server might be a little bit weird today. No, my internet is good. Yeah. No, my Wi-Fi is good. Look at it. Look, it's in a green. Very good. Yeah. So, and wait. Was lagging a bit for me? Oh, really? Was it lagging on Twitch as well? So it's on Twitch, but not as much. Oh, then it might be me. I apologize. It might be me. It might be my internet. Yeah, it actually might be my internet. But anyway, and so you guys don't think this is his fault? I think it's his fault. You could have made your friend's romantic date. Oh, it is definitely his fault? I see. Have I told you guys? Well, among my roommates that I had, I also lived in college dorm. And when I was in college dorm, I had 3 other guys in the same room with no dividers. And one day, I had a time where one of the roommates asked me, hey man, could you stay out of the house from this time to this time? I'm bringing a girl over. Usually, I don't know if this is the right term, but bros code? Okay, I'm not like bro, but if they ask me gentle like that, then I'm willing to, spend time 2 hours somewhere else. We're young boys, 18, 19, yeah, sure. One time, the issue is when they don't let you know. One time I came back from my class, literally 2 p.m. broad daylight. I came into my house and dorm. I put my bag down and then random noise from the bed. And I thought, what's going on? And there's these figures moving inside the blanket. And 2 guys poke their head out from the blanket and says, I'm so sorry. Could you give us a few minutes? And I said, sure. So I go outside of the dorm. I wait at the door, and one of them says, you could come in now. Yay. I walk in. They're still in bed. they're still in bed. Two male heads out of the bed inside. I don't even care. They're like, I'm sorry. I said, that's fine. It's fine. I don't really care. I'm sorry. And that's fine. It's fine. And I just do my homework. And they keep squiggling in the bed. Crazy story. That person dropped college after a month. I don't know what they're doing, but so I had that incident, and another roommate ended up moving in. But at the same time, this guy was a very nice guy. I had to audition for my guitar audition, and he lended me his guitar. So I personally didn't have any bad feelings for him. Oh, you guys want to hear my crazy roommate story before I go? I've witnessed some roommates fights. I'm not gonna specify any names, but among the roommates that I had, I used to live in a house with 3 people total, including myself. And the other 2 didn't really get along well. And one day, I guess the other guy had an exam the other day, and he was trying to sleep. But the other guy was playing League of Legends really loud. And this other guy who's been holding it back basically got all mad. And initially, I was in the kitchen and I hear a really loud boom sound around my room. But I didn't really care. I was just at kitchen eating. And then I see this guy walking up to me into the kitchen saying, "Is it you?" I said, "What? Is it you that's being loud?" I said, "I was literally watching movies with the headphone for the past 2 hours. What are you talking about?" He says, "Well, turn your phone down." I said, "Okay." And then he goes to the other guy's room. Guang! Basically, he kicks the door with the feet. Guang, guang. It's like, get out, you know. And the other guy comes out like, "Yo, what's up? You know, what's up?" And I have a beep exam tomorrow. Beep. You need to beep. Quiet, like beep, beep. Bunch of cuss word. And the other guy's like, yo, chill, bro. And they're standing, and I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna fight. They're gonna punch. They're gonna punch. But luckily, they didn't punch. He just kicked the door and kicked a few things, and he went back to the room. Yes, that was some crazy incident. No, he wasn't high. He just talks like that. The guy who was playing League of Legends. You didn't record it? In that situation, if I recorded, the anger was gonna come to me. Wow, what a crazy story. It was a crazy story. You should have seen the vibe. You should have seen the vibe of the and then breaking the door, and you should have seen the vibe. It was scary. Anyway. So that was my roommate story. We'll probably read a little more. I think there's more fun stories. But thank you for watching today. Thank you.